Excellent. All right, everyone's coming in. Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Lean, or Thermigirl on Facebook, and I've been running my thermomix business for 7 years, moving from Sydney, New South Wales, to the Central Goldfields 2 years ago, and I became the team leader for Central Goldfields 1 year ago. I absolutely love working with my amazing colleagues, and today I am so blessed to be working with the gorgeous Kate Fenwick, team leader for the Ballerine, Susie, Marianne, Jamie, Lyndall, Emily and Ange. Ange is coming, Ange is a little bit special today, so you'll see her later and you'll hear from everybody else very soon. So we absolutely love hearing from you. And as we go along, we'd love you to chat freely in the chat bar, ask questions, let us know what you're liking. You can try it out now if you like. Where are you from? Pop it in the chat group. Type in your suburb or postcode. That gives us a little bit of indication where everyone's coming from, because we've even had people register from the US today. To get the best view on Zoom, you can change your view. So up the top of your on the Zoom, you've got gallery or speaker view. If you hover over the top of that, or depending on what device you're on, you can change it from gallery or speaker, and that way you see the speaker in full. If you have any issues with the tech stuff, just pop something in the chat, because there's a lot of us in there that will help you out. So you've been sent the recipes to what we're cooking today in your email, reminder email from the Eventbrite link. Did everyone get those? If you, I'm just going to open up my chat to make sure. Fantastic. I can see some, oh my gosh, Canada. That's amazing. Isn't this incredible that we can connect with people globally? A little bit like the Thermomix connects with recipes globally. So if you didn't get that, check later after the class. There's no problem, and we'll fix it up if you haven't received it. Today we're showcasing ricotta, savoury baked ricotta, brunch bread, strawberry compote, flavoured salt, butter, lemon caper aioli, wild chicken salad, almond milk, and almond milk custard, and steamed orange puddings. You're going to go on a big food journey today. So if you're an owner or you're curious non-owner, welcome. And we'd love to assist you further by offering you your very own virtual cooking experience with any of your friends, and seeing a Thermomix a little bit more close up and more personal with your consultant. So reach out to them today, or when you get your feedback today, if you pop that in there, we'll be in touch with you. So just for booking, you get 70% discount on all of those beautiful host rewards. And if someone purchases at your demonstration, you get to choose something, and it's normally for free. So it depends on the host rewards and what you're choosing, of course. Our current gift with purchase is an oval thermoserver and the festive flavour. I'm saying all this because I know there's a number of non-owners on here today, and just to give you that information, meet Pugsley, my dog, who's discovered someone's at the front. So we're going to get started soon, and I just really encourage you, if you haven't had a virtual cooking experience, to do that. It's literally the best way to show a friend at the moment in the situation that we're in with Rona. At the end of the class, that feedback will come through to you, and it takes about 3 minutes to fill out. We'd really appreciate any input that you have. And if you've loved today, give me and the girls a shout out on Facebook. Give us a like, a review even, or tag us in your creations. So each of you will let us know where we're from and how you can find us as we introduce ourselves. So again, my name's Sam, and I'm going to head over now to Marianne's house, and Marianne's going to showcase ricotta for you. Are you ready, Marianne?
I am. Can you hear me okay? Super. So I've saved a recipe into my week's menu plan on Cookie Do, and I've saved the savoury herb baked ricotta. So you can just use the ricotta on its own. And all of these recipes are in collections, not in recipe books. So when I get into the recipe, I can go to start cooking, or I can scroll down and jump to any of the steps that I want to start at. We're starting at the first step anyway. So I've got to add 1,800 mils or grams of full cream milk. Where's this go? Looks different back to front. or 1803. Press next. Did I miss a step? So it just says to put the lid on, and then I'm for 15 minutes going to heat the milk, which I probably should have done before we started. So what I am doing, while this is going to be cooking the ricotta today, I've made up the next part, which is the seed crackers to go with it. Just to give you a look, I've got a rose gold tray underneath, and I've got our thermomat on the top. And underneath is the seeded recipe for the crackers, and I've rolled that directly onto the oven baking tray. It's about 3 millimeters thick, and I can sprinkle seeds on that now and pop them in the oven or the milk station. You come back to me, Sam?
Yes, we'll come back to you. I didn't know you finished, so that's awesome, Marianne. That was so quick. How quick is it to make ricotta? So that's while that's cooking away, we're going to head over to Lyndall and Emily's house, and they're going to showcase the brunch bread for us. Are you ready, girls?
Just need to unmute Emily and Lyndall.
Shows we're having a bit of fun here. Good morning, everyone. We're making the brunch bread this morning. So Em's going to start. So Em's cooking because I've had a bit of an accident, so I can't really cook much at the moment. Although the thermomix is wonderful when you haven't got one hand. Sorry. So we've saved the brunch bread.
Girls, we can't see your thermi screen. Can you tilt your camera down? That's better. Thank you.
Great.
Did you do that with your good hand, Lyndall?
Okay. So we've lined a baking tin with our thermomat. And then we're going to add some warm water. Now, when we're using yeast, it is important to have warm water because the water activates the yeast, the warmth of the water. So it is important to have that. If you have cold water, it tends to retard the yeast, so the yeast doesn't grow as well. So it's always important to have warm water. You don't want it too hot either, about baby's bottle temperature water. If it's too hot, it'll kill the yeast. So Em's just putting in 2 teaspoons of dried yeast there. I have got some fresh yeast. I actually like using fresh yeast, if anybody's seen the fresh yeast before. It's a bit more pliable and I think it works a little bit better. But if you've only got dried yeast, that's fine. Fresh yeast you can buy in Geelong Fresh if you're down in Geelong, or in Vic Market has it, but it is hard to come by. So if you have it, the instant yeast is wonderful too, and I keep that in the freezer. Let's go next there.
I've never used fresh yeast before. That's a really good tip. Thanks for that, Lyndall.
Oh, it's great. And actually when it says, too many cooks. We're just mixing that for 3 seconds. Sometimes to make sure I've got the right temperature water, I will actually set it for 32 degrees, and I'll set it for about 2 minutes just to make sure it's nice and warm. And so Em's just adding the flour there. And we're going to mix that up. If you're using fresh yeast and it says, say, something like this, 2 teaspoons, can you still hear me? 2 teaspoons of yeast, just multiply that. That 2 teaspoons of yeast weighs about 7 grams. So to use fresh yeast, I'll multiply it by 3. That's about 20 grams of fresh yeast that I would use. So that's just kneading. The Thermomix does a wonderful job of kneading.
Especially with one hand.
Especially with one hand, I certainly couldn't do that. So we're going to fill this with some ham or bacon and some cheese, some spinach, but you can use whatever you like in this. It's very versatile. Some bacon. And we're going to grate some cheese in a few minutes in our spare bowl, which is wonderful to have. So we've pre-measured out 100 grams of cheese, and when this is finished, we're going to use our second bowl to grate some cheese. Want to add anything to that? Are there any questions that are coming through, Kate?
No questions.
Right.
I was just asking on the chat if who else has a second bowl. Such a handy thing, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's great.
Jennifer's got one. Lucky you, Jennifer.
Yeah.
I know they're available on the mix shop now. There was a shortage of them, but you can get your second bowl on the mix shop. And sometimes we have host rewards, so they might come up later in the year. We don't know, but we did have them early in the year. Yep, a few other people. Somebody said they would love one. Heidi's got one for her TM5, but not her TM6. Olivia says she's got one. So glad she bought it. Oh, Jenny's got one on order.
So can you see our map there now?
Yeah, we can.
So a great handy tip is what Emmy's doing there is she's turning the knob at the top, the blade, and it all comes out really clean. She's just going to fix that up a little bit and wrap it up, and we're going to prove that. And a great way of proving is to actually put our jug on with a little bit of water in and put our fermenting function on, and that keeps it warm. We'll put it in the basket and the varoma, and that'll keep it nice and warm. So we'll be able to do that. So we'll just grate our cheese.
That's a great tip for proving, especially with this cold weather that we've got in Australia, down in Victoria, where most of us are. In summer, I like to prove my dough just on the dashboard of my car. It's to get nice and warm in there. But using the fermenting function of the TM6 is a great option too.
Our cheese is done, and we're just going to put this over the top on our fermenting function, and we'll come back when that's proved a little bit.
Beautiful, thanks girls.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. We're going to head over to, I'm just going to mute you or get yourself to mute, and we'll head over to Susie's house. Susie's going to share with us how to make a really simple compote. Over to you, Suze.
Hi Thermomixers, I'm coming to you from Golden Square Bendigo. How are you going? This is so simple. It's actually called the rhubarb strawberry full on the cookie dough. So I'm just going to use my new stylus, which I've got as a lovely incentive for being a Thermomix consultant. We've got lots of great perks. So it's just quick and easy. We're just going to pop in 2 little slices of our orange zest, the lid back on, and grating that. 10 seconds, not very long. Doing the old manual mode. Okay, scrape down the sides, but you didn't really need to scrape down the sides. I might just give that another go. Maybe my bowl wasn't as dry as it should have been. That should have come up as a nice little dust. I can go back and just chop that again and just see if that chops a little bit more. That's sounding a little bit better. Okay. So once this gets cooking, it's really just a matter of time. 12 minutes, it's not very long yet, that's much better. Okay, just adding some orange juice. I've just squeezed the orange juice this morning with my spatula. Cut the orange in half and squeeze the juice out like this. If you don't have a juicer, that's always nice to do. Okay, put some rhubarb, which I picked fresh from the garden this morning. It's such a proud thing to do when you're growing your own food, if you can use it as well. Obviously you want to use it. Some raw sugar, all weighed in just to make today nice and easy for you, but obviously you've got the inbuilt scales here, so I could have just poured that straight out of my sugar container to save dishes, which is obviously what I would do, because who doesn't want to save on dishes? Okay, so now that's going to cook here for 12 minutes, which I love. Now some great things that you can serve this compote with is some pancakes for breakfast in the morning. You can put it with a breakfast cereal, some nice granola and yogurt and some chopped up fruit, really yummy. Ice cream, one of the really nice desserts, really quick and easy dessert is the, what is it? Deconstructed lemon tart. I'm loving that dessert. It takes about 12 minutes and this sauce would really be nice to cut through that lemon. So I really love doing a little quick dessert just to give my hubby a bit of a treat at the end of the day. So we do that. Now Sam was talking about the lovely gift we purchased this month, and it is the Festive Flavour Cookbook. Some beautiful recipes in here and some Christmas gift ideas as well. And it also comes with the oval thermo server. Now these thermo servers keep your food hot and cold for up to 2 hours. So they're really handy. I'm often taking them to picnics and barbecues with whatever I've made to keep nice and warm. Yeah, so you can do that. Now I've got lots of little gift shop things. At the moment, a host reward is getting the meter for a really good discounted price. You can get it for half price or even for $49. So it is a great little tool if you like to cook meat. So basically it's a thermometer, it goes into the meat and it connects with your account, your app on your phone, and tells you exactly when to pull your meat out so you've got it at that perfect temperature and cooking right, so your medium rare or your well done or however you like your meat. So really handy little tool to have, especially nice to get the boys something if they're into the barbecues as well. And I know my husband is constantly cremating my steak, so this will be a great little tool for him this summer when we get out the barbecue. Okay, so you can join me and watch me, lots of lives I do. Is my Facebook page is Susie is your Thermomix consultant. So I'd love to see you, and please by all means just give me a like. Now, when I'm using my Thermomix, I like to just give you a quick live every now and again. Sometimes I might be in my pajamas, so don't worry about that. We're all real people here. And that's just one of the beauties about being a consultant. It's sort of, you can be a little bit more flexible with your own business. Obviously, I'm in a little bit more of a professional outfit today. So I've got my Thermomix is a bit sexier at the moment. I've got my little outfit on, but yeah, obviously if I'm, you know, got the kids running around and everything's a bit chaotic, I might not be looking so well presented.
I love that, Susie. I just love that whole flip there. Have you done something else in your life, Suze?
Now,
And I noticed you've got some ribbon in your hair too.
yes, this was also one of my beautiful incentives that I got, so I'm loving the ribbon. And I'll also use that whenever I'm delivering a thermomix as well. I'll give my guests a lovely little gift, and now I've got a special ribbon to make it a little bit more special. So, yeah. Now I've still got about 8 minutes, Sam. So if I need to go over to, how are we going over at Marianne's house?
We're going to head over to Marianne's. Marianne will be ready to drain. Thank you so much for all that information, Suze. We'll come back to you to see what that looks like soon. Marianne, I'm going to mute myself. Over to you again.
So while you're all listening to that, I was heating up the milk to 80 degrees, and I've gone ahead with the next step, which was to add 80 grams of white vinegar. It then will heat for 8 minutes or 7 minutes, I think, at 90 degrees on speed 1. Once it's reached that process, it just has to sit in the bowl for 2 minutes, and then it will separate into whey and curds. It then says to drain it. So I'm using the steamer basket from the thermomix with some muslin cloth. And what I've done is put a measuring cup inside my thermo server and stood that on the top so that the ricotta can drain. And one of the things with ricotta, if you don't want it to be so wet, then you can squeeze it a bit more or drain it a bit longer. If you want it to stay wet, then don't squeeze it and use it before it's drained too much of the liquid out. But once I've actually done that, it would need to go in the fridge, or I'm going to use it to bake something for you. If I'm going to put it in the fridge and use my thermo server, I would use my silicone sealing lid to keep it nice and fresh so it doesn't pick up any fridgy smells. That's it. I'll see you soon.
How awesome. Who's inspired to, after Marianne showed us how simply that is to make ricotta, or have you made it before? If you pop that in the chat, that'd be great. And then we're going to head over to Kate's house. Kate's going to show us how to make this delicious wild chicken salad. Over to you, Kate.
Hi everybody. Yes, I'm going to make this beautiful wild chicken salad for you. The first step in the recipe, so it comes on cookie dough, it's under rice salad with a warm mustard dressing. We're just doing a slight variation of that today. We're making it with the lemon and caper aioli, which I'll show you later. But the first step in the recipe is to soak some rice. It's brown rice and wild rice. My supermarket was out of the wild rice today. I've had a lot of trouble getting it lately, but I got some black rice. So I've soaked that and drained it. And my next step here is just to pop the simmering basket into the mixing bowl. So I'm doing that now. Sorry, I've made a mistake there. That was still back on the step before I weighed it in. So I'm going to put a litre of water into my bowl. Does everybody know that inside their bowl there's little numbers? So there's a 1 for 1 litre. You can easily just fill up the litre at your sink. And there's a 2 for 2 litres, and there's little notches in between, so 1.5 and 500 mils as well. So I've popped the water in. Now I'm just going to pop some chicken stock in. You can, of course, use your veggie stock that you would have made when you had your Thermomix delivered. Chicken stock is also in the basic cookbook and super quick and easy, and definitely with chicken dishes gives you that extra layer of flavour. So it is worthwhile making the chicken if you haven't tried that. And you can keep it in your freezer, and you can portion it out as well. So because of the salt content, it won't freeze. It just will last a bit longer. So I'll pop some chicken stock in. And then I'm just popping the rice in. And we're showcasing the layered cooking here. So I'm going to pop the varoma into position. So I'm going to cook the rice and at the same time cook some chicken tenders. So I'm just popping the varoma in and inserting the varoma tray. And lining the tray with baking paper. I'm actually today, instead of using baking paper, I'm going to use one of the little stainless steel trays that you can buy on the mix shop. Just keeps everything together. So I'm going to pop that on top of my tray and weigh into that my tenderloins. I'm just going to cook all of these tenderloins. The recipe only asks for 200 grams, but I'm just going to pop all these on. I've got about 400 grams here. So, because I love to have shredded chicken in my fridge, ready to add to salads or just quick protein, great for school lunches, to pop in rolls or work lunches as well. So I'm just going to cook a bit extra today. So I've popped that in. And then I'm just going to season that chicken with some salt. Later in the class, we're going to be making a special salt that you can use to sprinkle over your chicken. I'm just using some pink Himalayan salt today. But you can, there's lots of beautiful different flavoured salts that you can make as well, add extra flavour to your dishes. So I've done that, and just need a little bit of pepper. I'll pop that on in a minute, and a little bit of olive oil. So just popping a little bit of olive oil on there. All right, now I'm just popping the lid on. And that just cooks for 15 minutes to cook the chicken, and then cook a little bit longer for the rice. So this is a gorgeous salad. It's a really fresh salad, super healthy, and you can dress it with the recipe dressing, which is the warm mustard dressing, which is a mayo-based dressing, or the one we're going to use today that I'm going to show you a bit later, the lemon and caper aioli. Just on the subject of salads, as we've mentioned, the festive flavour is a gift with Thermomix purchase this month. And just to show you, there's some delicious salads in there. There's a gorgeous tomato and Lebanese salad. There's this beetroot, pear and blue cheese salad, and all these recipes are on Cookie Do. So if you don't have a hard copy of the book, that's okay. You can find them on Cookie Do. And there's like a pumpkin and antipasto risotto salad. That's a really popular one. And this one, the peanut and soba noodle slaw, that's one of my favourites too. Has anybody got some favourite salads? I know this is one of Grace Mazur, who started Thermomix in Australia's favourite salad, the Polish vegetable salad. Sort of like a potato salad with extra root veggies in it. And the Aussie potato salad, that's a favourite as well. Citrus seafood salads, you can make these beautiful dressings. Thai noodles, seafood salad, there's just so many options, aren't there? Anyone got any favourite salads to share? Type in the chat what you like.
I think they've forgotten because it's not salad season, Kate. There's nothing coming through, but oh, here we go. Colourful quinoa salad. So I made one the other day, Kate. It was a Mexican quinoa bean salad. Absolutely incredible. And the next day, all the flavours were infused and it was just delicious. Really, really simple. I just used frozen vegetables, because you can get all the vegetables frozen now because everything's so expensive. But and quinoa, so it was fantastic. So I'm looking at Em and Lyndall and saying if they're ready for us to come back to give us a thumbs up. Yeah, they are.
Hi, we're back. We're off mute. Great. So we've actually thought we'd show the fermenting cycle that we're on here. Em, can you show that?
Yes. So we just put it on for half an hour and it is now risen.
So it's lovely and beautiful and soft. So Em's now going to roll that out. If we go back to our recipe, it says to, on a silicone bread mat, roll out dough into a large rectangle 20 by 45 centimetres. So can anybody see what Emmy's doing there? And you can use anything you like, as I said before. We're going to put sun-dried tomatoes, bocconcini, grated cheese, bacon and spinach on this. But you can put whatever you like. You can put salami, you can put mushrooms, you could put, what else in?
I like the spinach and the bocconcini really. And I like ham in mine. I would prefer ham than bacon. I put ham in our original one.
So we're just going to sprinkle that with some cheese just on 1 inch. And then the bacon, which I like a little bit crispy, so I cooked off a little bit beforehand, but you don't have to do that. But I prefer mine a bit crispy. If you want to, you can put some ham there as well. Emmy sliced up the bocconcini. So you've got that lovely gooey soft cheese. Yum. And our sun-dried tomatoes. And then she's just going to roll that up. Now, if you can roll it up as... Spinach. Oh, spinach, sorry. Any other suggestions of what we can put on that?
Somebody in the chat, Susie, one of our other consultants, she's suggesting cream cheese, salmon, red onion and spinach.
Oh, yum. That's nice. Very nice. So Em's going to roll that up. The tighter you can roll it, the better. But it's just super easy. And bread dough, you can do anything with bread dough. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the pizza dough recipe, isn't it? That we all have our Friday night pizzas on.
The best. So we're just going to put that in a ring shape. Seal up the edges. And pop onto our tray. And brush with some egg yolk, or egg, just whole egg. And sprinkle with some sesame seeds.
This is such a great breakfast or weekend brunch, and heaps of serves there, so you get lots of bang for your buck.
Certainly do. So lots of seeds on there. I can do with left-handed.
Yeah, well done, everybody. Lyndall's a food technology teacher for her whole career, so she's got a wealth of knowledge in our Thermomix team. Now have a look at this one. Check that out. Wow.
That's got ham, the semi-sun-dried tomatoes, spinach, cheese and bocconcini.
Oh, it smells beautiful too. Wow.
Did you just take that out of the oven, girls?
Yeah, we did. Can you see the steam coming off?
Can't see the steam, but it looks really soft and delicious.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Who wants a bite?
Oh, me!
I want some.
That is one of my favourite breads. Hey, Em, can we just get a screenshot of that? Can you just show that and I'll just take a screenshot of you?
Can I face it? Oh yeah, that's nice, girl. Em and Lyndall are mother and daughter, if you didn't gather.
That looks absolutely incredible. Who is going to make that? I know some of my customers have been privileged to see that before, and it's just such a winner bread. So if you haven't made it, it's a great one to take to a barbecue or for the weekend, you know, even school lunches. Fantastic. How easy is that done? Thank you so much, ladies. We're going to head over to Marianne again and see that finish, see that baked ricotta in action. I can see you getting you back into the kitchen. Over to you, Marianne.
Just show you the ricotta drained. Can you see that? Not really wrong. So that was really easy. All I did was tip the jug out into the steaming basket there and it's drained. I'm just going to show you the crackers. So that's what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And I'm going to cut that up with a pizza cutter and just throw it into a basket. Ideally while it's warm, but I might miss the moment. And
How easy was that, Marianne? Do you make those regularly? How easy is that? I love my crackers.
I've never actually made any of this before. Today's the first day.
Well, isn't that incredible that a thermomix, you know, we just trust the recipe so freely and then they just work.
Absolutely. I'm listening to Kate about chicken stock. I've got a tip for you, which I've only just discovered myself or thought of. When I've got chicken and, you know, you cut all the yucky bits off, I'm actually putting those all into a container in the freezer. So next time I make my chicken stock, I'll use all those yucky bits. It's a good saving.
That's a great tip.
So I'll just skip through the steps of what I've done here. So now I'm going to add, oh, why am I doing that? Oh, sorry. I'm going to go back to the recipe and jump ahead because I'm not making the crackers now, rather than press skip, skip, skip. So I'm going to where it says to grease a ramekin or a small baking dish and set it aside. Done that. 120 grams of Parmesan cheese cut into 3 centimetre pieces. Now I would normally do the whole block when I do my Parmesan, so each time I need it I don't have to do 40 grams and wash the bowl, and then the next recipe 30 grams and wash the bowl. I'll do the whole block in one go and then just store it in my Ziploc bag in the freezer and it's ready for next time. But today, because you're all watching, I've measured out 120 grams. Almost. Put the measuring bowl on, and I think hopefully my sound will drop out when this goes because Parmesan's one of the noisiest things of all. But speed 9 for 10 seconds.
It does drop out. Feel the power.
Oh, so I'll just show you what Parmesan looks like for those of you who may not have grated cheese before. It's all really fine crumbs and no added preservatives or anticoagulant properties in there. One egg is in. 2 to 3 sprigs of fresh thyme, leaves only. So I'm a really good gardener. I actually have a little bit of thyme. Not as pretty as what you might buy in the supermarket, but homegrown's always best. So and you can change to any fresh herbs that you've got. And I must say, before I got a thermomix, I'd never cooked with fresh herbs, really didn't know what to do with them. Now it's like my life depends on them. Can't grow much, but I can grow herbs.
Who else has had it? I mean, I definitely would agree that things have changed for our household too, Marianne, when it comes to cooking. Has anyone else found that by having a thermomix, it's been a life-changing experience? Type it in the chat. Let us know.
So I'm adding a whole teaspoon of dry chilli because we like chilli here. The recipe says half. 1 to 2 pinches of salt. Now I'll buy the Australian rock salt and I'll grind up a whole lot at once and just keep that in a container. So it looks like 2 pinches. And 1 to 2 pinches of ground pepper. So I also like to do my own pepper from peppercorns and have it ready to go. Add the reserved ricotta. Let's hope I get this in there okay. Yep, that came out okay. And Thermomix do have nut milk bags. Now I've made this recipe, I think I'll probably invest in one of those too. So put the mixing bowl on. 10 seconds at speed 3.
So lots of people saying they cook much more now. They've got herb gardens and attempting a veggie garden. Sounds like me, I've attempted it. Now I just let my husband do it. Yeah, someone was asking about a sprig. How much is a sprig? And I said it's kind of like a stem. I think it's a, yeah, use it. Yeah.
That was 1 sprig.
Yeah.
So that is what it looks like in the bowl. Looks like scrambled egg really. And the recipe is telling me to transfer it into my prepared ramekin. Now, if you didn't have a big enough ramekin, you could do it into individual ramekins, and maybe you could use it then as an entree rather than a dip type thing. That's it, I've just got to bake it. So I can jump the steps backwards and forwards just to see what it's going to tell me to do. I'll squish it down a little bit so it comes out looking nice. But yeah, when you come back, hopefully it's nice and golden brown.
That is awesome. I just love the simplicity of this class today, showing you how easy it is to make something as easy as ricotta and then turning it into something amazing like the baked ricotta. You'll be enjoying that later on today, Marianne. So you're in my kitchen now, and I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a pudding with homemade almond milk and homemade butter. So where we go? What I've done is I've saved the pudding in my weekly planner. So on your drop-down menu, you're just going to weekly planner and you click on the daily list. Up the top of your weekly planner, you've got 2 options to have the day look, or if you click on the other little option up there, which you can't quite see, yeah, my Thermomix is taking a bit too, we're having internet trouble in little old Maryborough today. So we'll just, here we go. There's 2 options. So you've got parallel lines, just let someone else in. And you've got a little box, and they allow you to see whether you want the single view menu planner, or if you click on the other one, then you get the month at a glance, and you can swipe back as long as you've stored recipes there. So we just click on, so like that. Can you see a little bit there? So we just click on the one that we're choosing. And then we start. So steamed orange puddings with almond milk ice cream is what I'm going to showcase for you today. So let's start. Okay, 280 grams of almond milk. Now to make this almond milk, I just put 100 grams of almonds, 500 grams of water. They weren't even, they had the shell on them, so that's fine. And blitzed it for 1 minute on speed 9. Strain it through your nut milk bag. And then I've stored the pulp to use later. I've actually used a little bit of the pulp yesterday when I made this recipe in the puddings, which is something you can do. 220, oh, do you know what? That was making the ice cream. The beauty of this is I'm just going to click on those 3 drop-down menus and go to the actual pudding that I'm going to be making for you. So where we go. So when you want to skip forward, like I wanted to do, you can click on the full view of the recipe, scroll through the list of instructions, and then click on the instruction that you want to start with. So that's better. Now we can start again. Grease the ramekins. So we're using the silicone dairy molds today from the mixture, and I've just greased them with spray. There's actually a beautiful recipe on the Cookadoo, which I'll show you a little bit later. You can make your own, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. I'll find it, and you grease your dishes. So in there they fit perfectly in the aroma.
Your own oil spray, Sam.
Yeah, you can make, so for baking cakes and things like that, there's a recipe. So it uses ghee, which you can make in your thermomix, and it uses a little bit of oil and flour, and it makes a paste. So it's a non-stick paste. That's what it is, non-stick paste, and it's on Cookadoo, and you can use it for all of your baking. You just need to brush it through the dishes. So click next, tear the bread into pieces. I've done that. And in it got, forget that I've got that almond milk in there. So I'm just going to swap out my bowls. The beauty of being a consultant is that you earn those. So.
But Sammy's got a cupboard full of them.
I do. I've got a cupboard full of thermomixes too. So in it goes, nice clean bowl. It's then click next, insert measuring cup and turn it to blitz it. Now if you haven't, this uses orange peel. If you haven't peeled your orange, if you've peeled your orange and you haven't grated it for the recipe, this is what the Thermomix does to the orange peel on speed. I think I did it on speed 8. So if you haven't done that, you can stick it in at this step and blitz it with the bread. Turn it up. And click next. Now again, you can use your stylus pen. These are beautiful. I really like these. Now we're going to add the almond milk. So breadcrumbs done. Now a tip for doing your breadcrumbs, if you've got old bread, I made this recipe last night with a hot cross bun. It was in my freezer from Easter, and I thought, you know what? Those flavours would be really beautiful in this recipe. So I blitzed the hot cross bun and I used it up in this recipe. So don't waste anything. Whatever bread you've got, you can blitz it, bag it, pop it in the freezer, and save it for when you need it. Now we want the almond milk. Who uses almond milk? Who uses plant-based milk? Can you let me know in the chat? Because I have some other options for you as well. 2 eggs. Compliments of my chickens. And orange juice. Now you can make your own orange juice in the Thermomix as well. And that's what I've done. And you just juice it, or you can just juice it in a handheld juicer.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, Sam, in the chat saying rice milk, soy, almond, macadamia, coconut, cashew milk.
Fantastic, and it tastes a lot creamier, don't you think? It's very important, the orange zest that we did earlier. So I do find that when I purchase store-bought milk, I'm basically purchasing almost water with a little bit of milk content. So it's just so easy, and then you want to store it in your fridge as well. The soy milk was something I didn't realise you could do in your Thermomix until a couple of years, last year I think I realised. So we've got some cinnamon. Now this is why I thought the hot cross bun would work well with this flavour, because of the similar flavours. But you could put other bread in. And unsalted butter. So we're going to show you, after me, how to make your own butter. It's really easy, and James is going to share with you how to do that. So, in it goes. Don't you love that it's just all in one pot? Sugar. I think this is caster sugar. When you're prepping and you don't label things. So I'd probably blitz this a little bit fast. So to make your caster sugar, raw sugar in your thermomix and on, does anyone know before I say the answer? Should have a prize, shouldn't we? So if you're making your own types of sugars, you just need raw sugar in your cupboard. And if you want to make caster sugar, it's no one's put it in, so it's 5 seconds. Did you know that? And if you want to do just a little bit more, there we go. If you want to do white sugar, it's 2 seconds. If you want to do icing sugar, it's 10 to 15. And if you want to do brown sugar, you add a squeeze of molasses and with a raw sugar, and you blitz that on speed 9 for about 20 seconds. I've popped a video on my Facebook page, Thermigal, if you want to see that in action. Pop your lid on. And we're done. So who is making puddings? I tell you, steamed dessert in the Thermomix is incredible. It is just really light and fluffy texture and moist to taste. So absolutely incredible. What's your favourite pudding? Is it sticky date? Because it's one of mine. If it is sticky, yes, someone said Kate, yes. So if it is sticky date, have you tried the steamed version of the sticky date pudding? It's called sticky toffee pudding on Cookadoo. If you haven't tried it, I encourage you to do so. So give that a scrape. Now, there's some other steamed desserts.
So Sammy, Chantel said thanks for the tip. She didn't know you could make brown sugar.
Oh, you're welcome, Chantel. You're welcome. Scrape that down and add wholemeal flour. You can make that as well. Isn't it amazing? You just make everything with your Thermomix. So I'm gonna, in here I've got the wholemeal flour, and I've also got the bicarb. So it's 120 grams. And you're going to receive all of these recipes if you haven't already done so, remember. So in we go. Love it. How easy is this? Thermomix is your best friend. So some of those other desserts that I absolutely love is the pecan, apple and carrot pudding. It's really low sugar apart from, the apple, which has got natural sugar in it. Scrape it down. And then I'm going to divide it into bowls. So just move my stuff. Now, when you are steaming your puddings, I'm going to use the dairy almonds today. However, you could use all sorts of things. And I want to show you a couple of options for you. So you could use the silicone molds, which are in our mix shop as well. So that one goes in the base, and then this one goes up the top. You could also use like the tray that Kate was using as well. And I'll show you that a little bit later. So I did one in there.
Yeah, the little stainless steel tray that goes in the baroma, yeah?
Yeah, now I'll show you one more thing. So, yes, I'll show you. So this was a pudding that I did in the tray. And yeah, and then you set it in. The only thing is, and as I'll come back to the individual ones today, because I think they look nicer on the plate than cutting up something like that. And the other thing is that the lid touches, so you don't get the full rise. So it's something that I'm working on developing a better solution for, but it definitely works. Cupcake molds, fantastic. If you're not really great at pouring, you can pour it into your cupcake mold. Absolutely love the cupcake molds.
Cupcake pen,
Sorry.
yeah?
Thank you, Kate. Cupcake molds. What am I talking about? Creating a new product. Cupcake pens. It's a fantastic. You probably need 2 of these though. When I do pancakes, it's fantastic, and you can put all your mixture in here and stick it in the fridge. It's great. Or you can just free pour. So this keeps it nice and neat.
So it's like a sauce bottle. It's got a little squirty bit at the bottom, so it makes it really easy and keeps the mess to a minimum, doesn't it, Sam?
Sure does. I'm going to show you how to use it. So I'm just going to get some water in there. I'll get that, just get some water in here, get that boiling. Another tip that I've got for you is get that boiling. So your 800 grams of water, pop it in. If you go over, it doesn't matter. If you go under, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to get that started because it doesn't matter that I'm starting this now because it won't steam anything until it's at temperature. So if you have a thermomix or you're looking at a thermomix because you're time poor, it's a really great tip to get that aroma going and turn it on while you're prepping what you're putting in the top. Nothing's going to steam until that's at temp. The other thing is if you don't have boiling water in there at that point, you can use your kettle mode on your Thermomix TM6. So you just swipe across to that kettle mode. Now if you book a demonstration, we'll be able to see you close up because we'll probably have a few angles on our cameras. So it's a bit hard when we're in a cooking class. Cupcake pan. I'll just tilt my screen so you can see what I'm doing. And just squeeze it in. Nice and neat. So you want to 3/4 fill your molds. Multitasking, that's what we do well, isn't it?
Makes it so much quicker as well, doesn't it, Sam?
What's that, Kate?
Makes it so much quicker, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, yes. And you don't have to worry about, you know, spilling it or neatness. No, that's so much neater than if you were to do it by hand. Take the lid off.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes me want one.
So that's going to steam. Who came to our Varoma cooking class? My team did a Varoma cooking class not so long ago, and we gave you lots and lots of tips on using a Varoma. And if you haven't come to one and we run another one, or one of the teams want to run them, go to them because this is an asset that you really, really want to use because it's amazing. So the cupcake pan, if you want the price, it's $10.95, and I think these are $16.95, something like that, or you can use those as well. So whilst I could talk all day, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to head over to James' house while that's steaming. I'll come back and share some other stuff with you when I...
Oh, Sammy, show them the other silicone molds. They're great. Show them how they work with the Varoma.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did. The only thing that I want to say about these, this one's nice and deep, right? So this is great. I actually prefer these because I don't have to place them and worry about them falling over. But I love these. You just stick them in the bottom of your Varoma and just... This one goes in the top layer.
So the round one that Sam's got fits in your Varoma dish, the deep part of your Varoma.
Like that.
And then yeah, you've got the rectangular one fits on the Varoma tray.
And the reason this is deeper is it's on the bottom, so that's going to steam faster anyway than the ones on the top. So it actually works out really easily, really well. Anyway, there's so many things. The other thing you could use, if you don't have any of those, I really encourage all my customers to use what they've got in their kitchen. So you could use dairy oil molds. You can even use glasses, like something like this. With they're beautiful puddings in there, so you can steam in those. You can even steam in the yogurt jars that we've got on. There's so many options. So if you're using the yogurt jars, one of the beautiful recipes in a glass, just for presentation, is the steamed pistachio cheesecakes, or the other steamed cheesecake, which has got the base steamed cheese, and then the fruit coulis on top is another beautiful one as well. So I'm going to head over to Jamie's house, and James is going to share how to make beautiful homemade butter and salt. You ready, James?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm coming to you from North Bendigo. I'm going to make some butter today, so I'll just see. I've got it saved here in my week's planner of what I'm going to make. Butter is super easy to make, and it's something that I actually probably make every week. A bit of a tip is that if you get butter that's closer to its use by date or past its use by date, it actually separates a little bit quicker and easier. I could only get fresh cream because I'm getting all my shopping delivered at the minute rather than going to the supermarket. but it is a great way to save money. If you are happening to go there and you see cream on clearance, grab as much as you can, because you can always pop the entire container in the freezer, and then when you run out of butter, get it out, defrost it, and then you can just make up your next batch. So I've just gone into my week's planner and I'm going to start cooking or making my butter. It's telling me to insert the butterfly. And when I was first got my thermomix, I always got a bit confused with how to put my butterfly in. So if you kind of think of these bigger blades that are here, that are raised as the front, I always say just to put your butterfly just sitting nicely behind. Everyone else has lots of different ways to remember it, but for me, that's what worked for me. So I've just put my butterfly in. I'm going to click next. I've got my cream. Now I've got exactly the quantity that I need, unless I've been shorted by Coles.
That happens.
Yeah. So I'll pour in a little bit more. There we go. And then I'll click next. All you need to do now is pop your lid on, clicking next, and it's just telling me to turn it to speed 4, and it's going to start whipping it around. Remembering with your butterfly, you never ever go past speed 4, otherwise you will break it. Now it's probably quite loud. You can do this for longer, so keeping an eye on it just to make sure. If after the minute it doesn't look like it's separated, then I would do it a little bit more. And because I've got fresh cream that's well within its use by date, it might take a little bit more to separate. Hello, Sue. With the butter, obviously, you're just using pure cream, so it is going to come out as unsalted butter. You can then flavour it as you want to. So you can add in garlic, herbs, you can add in salt, so you can do with it what you want. You can kind of hear now as it's whipping that that noise has kind of changed. So to me, it tells me that it's probably starting to separate. So
yeah, the Zoom actually, when we're doing Zoom, sometimes it mutes the loud sounds. So I love that you're explaining all that, Jamie, because that's really important.
So I'm just going to have a look at it. Oh, perfect. So you can see that it's changed colour to what you would expect butter to look like, and you can see that it's quite liquidy, but it has changed to that nice yellow colour that we expect. Okay, so we will just click next, and it wants me to take out the butterfly whisk, which I will. Give it a little tap. We'll click next. And now I just need to strain the liquid from the solid. So you can see all the solid bit and you can see the liquid around it. That liquid's your buttermilk. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I'm all about minimal waste or no waste. So this buttermilk you can use for so many different things, obviously making things like buttermilk pancakes. I myself am going to use it to make some pumpkin donuts for my daughter's lunchbox. It's one of the Thermomix recipes, baked pumpkin donuts. So I like that it's a little bit of a sweet treat, whilst also having some hidden veg. And I'm going to use my donut tray that I got from the mix shop, which I'm really excited to use to make some special treats. So I'll just get my simmering basket, which is just here. And we'll strain that through. And with the simmering basket that comes with the TM6, which you can see has got the lid, it can get you that double strain just to perfect getting some of the liquid out. But I will have to strain it a lot more. And sometimes I'll even use a nut milk bag because it's really important after we wash it to get out of as much of that liquid as possible. Otherwise your butter will go bad. So you really need to get out as much of that buttermilk as you can. Okay, I might, while I'm waiting for that one to strain, and we can come back and I can show you. Do you want me to quickly show the citrus salt, Sam, that I made earlier?
Yes, Absolutely, love that. If you want to chat through that, that'd be fantastic. And that'd be great, Jane.
Yep. So one of the things that when Kate was making her wild chicken salad, she was talking about seasoning her chicken, and that you can use all different types of flavoured salts. In your festive flavour cookbook, there's so many different recipes in there. One of them is for this citrus salt, which I made earlier. Basically, all you need to do is I use my consultant toolkit and use my little peeler, and I peeled off the zest of a lime and off a lemon, which was really easy. Then I pop that into the oven, and it kind of dehydrates it a little bit, and then you simply blitz it all up in your thermomix. So you blitz up the zest first, and then you add in your salt and blitz that all up together. The recipe is on Cookie Do, and it is also in the Festive Flavour Cookbook. And now I've just got this really beautiful finely milled salt with citrus zest mixed through it. Now, obviously, you don't have to use lemon or lime. You could use orange zest as well. You could also use some dried herbs. So you could mix through dried herbs, some of your dried garlic, and come up with a really beautiful herby salty mix. I personally like buying this Herbamare from the shops. So instead you can almost make it yourself and just add some beautiful flavours. This also makes a really beautiful gift. So you'll find in the Festive Flavour Cookbook, there's different flavoured oils that you can make. There's spice rubs that you can make as well. So if you've got someone in your family who loves to barbecue, you can make up some nice, beautiful little homemade gifts for them to enable them to barbecue as much as they want to. So I might hand back to Sam, and then we can come back if you like, and I'll show you the next steps once I've strained all the butter off.
Sounds great, Jamie. Just going to put in, he's just entering the waiting room as well. So there was a couple of questions before about the steamed desserts, and I have answered that in the chat, but just to get back to you on those, if you do find that liquid is settling on top of your steamed desserts, you can put wet, baking paper on top, and that'll stop it from having any condensation drop onto it. These are oven and microwave safe as well. So yes, fantastic. And we're going to head over to Angie about to share with you how to make almond milk and custard. So just give me a moment, because Angie is not actually with us today. She is has recorded it for us, so we're very, very lucky. And I just want to share with you now my screen.
So Angie Harris is my team members, and yeah, she is working in her other job today, but she's a fantastic Thermomix advocate, and she's recorded this little recording of her making the almond milk and almond milk custard for you.
That's fantastic. And the beauty of these classes is that, and the beauty of being a consultant is, if you do want to participate and help out your team and you have other commitments, there's always an option like this. Here we go.
Hey everybody, I'm really sorry I couldn't be there today for the cooking class. But
Can everyone see my screen okay?
Video,
yes.
And it is my task to show you how to make almond milk and almond milk custard. So I'm just going to show you, I have accessed the recipe. Now I might actually just turn my thermos around so you can see it a bit better. Hopefully on the video, great. So I'm actually in the almond milk recipe from Cookie Do, and I have had my almonds soaking in water. It does say on the recipe to soak for an hour. They have been in there for longer than that because I got busy, so as life does. So that's 220 grams of raw almonds and also 660 grams of water. So that's been soaking away, and now I'm up to the next step, which is to add my sweetener. Now this is optional, you don't have to add sweeteners to your almond milk, obviously, but I'm going to show you the way that the recipe is done. Just, you know, it's nice to have a bit of sweetness in your almond milk. So it's asking me to add 4 heated dates, so I'm just adding in 2, and for dates, I'm going to go next step. Some vanilla extract. I like to use vanilla bean paste because I like seeing little, and I always add a little bit extra. It says sort of half a teaspoon. I just blob because it's just all extra flavour, right? The beauty of making your own things like almond milk is how much money you can save, and also knowing that there's no nasty fillers. Even if we buy the expensive brands, we don't really know what is in the almond milk. This way we know exactly what's in there. Okay, so to that, we're adding the water and the almonds all in together. And now I'm going to pop the lid on. And it's going to blend for 2 minutes on speed 9, and I'm going to pause it right now because you do not need to hear that. So I'll be back in just a tick. Okay, we are back, and I have finished that step of blending, much to my family's delight. 2 minutes on speed 9. So I'm actually going to use my little stylus pen, and I meant to show this before. This was one of our incentives last month. And it's really great when, you know, sometimes you can struggle a little bit with pressing buttons on your thermomix. So this is really great, and it actually works with smartphones and tablets as well. So I'm going to press next. And it's asking me, it's saying pour mixture into nut milk bag or muslin cloth. So I'm using this gorgeous nut milk bag here, and I've just put it into the simmering basket just because it's going to be easier to get it out. And we actually do have these nut milk bags on the mix shop, and this is what they look like. So make sure you check that out for yourself. So we're going to, I'll just show you how that looks. This is how it looks. I'm going to pull that video down a little bit. There we go. And that's how it looks before we have strained it, so you can see all that creamy goodness in there. And I'm just going to pour it into that nut milk bag. Now making sure you guys can see. All right, in it goes. Beautiful. Nice and thick. All right. Now, next, use milk as needed. So what we do is we're going to strain that through the bag. You see that beautiful milk coming out of there. Now you can, of course, do this over a glass jug if you've got one, but I find it easier over a bowl like this because it does make a bit of a mess when I'm squeezing it. And it's possibly just me. Maybe you guys are much neater than I am. But all that milk is coming out. I'm actually going to take the simmering basket out of there now because we don't need that. Over here. And I reckon I could still get a bit more. Look at that. Gorgeous. Coming out. How quick and easy was that? I mean, if factoring in your soaking time, so obviously you want to soak it for at least an hour, but the actual making of the almond milk, 2 minutes. It's just incredible. All right, so it does make 525 grams of milk, which is going to be the perfect amount for our custard. There. Oh, so much coming out. And of course, that leftover pulp that's in the bag can be used for lots of different things. So you can pop it in a smoothie, you can add it to your cereal or oats in the morning, you can pop it into a muffin mixture or a cake mixture. You can actually even dry it out in the oven and use it like almond meal. So definitely do not, I'm making a mess here, definitely don't throw out that pulp because there's many uses for that. And we love that at Thermomix. We love not wasting and using up every little bit. So I'll try and show you so that you can see in there. That's basically how it looks. Literally just like almond meal, but a lot wetter. All right, guys, so next up, I'm going to make the custard for you using that beautiful almond milk. Hey guys, back again. So now we're going to make some custard, and I've just noticed, like, this is kind of funny, but you can see my little spotlight reflecting on my splash pad. Just so you know, I don't, you know, normally illuminate like this. It's all just recording tips. Thanks to Thermomix, which was another one of our incentives. Okay, so I am using the custard for the TM6 tonight, and the reason I've selected the TM6 one is because we're going to showcase the thicken mode, which is really cool, and it's one of the newer functions of the TM6. So I'm going to press start cooking. Now it's asking for lemon. I'm not going to put that in because I'm going to do a vanilla flavoured custard. There's also the option of doing chocolate flavour, but for today we're going to stick to vanilla. So I'm going to skip that step, as we can do. Now I always go less sugar with this because I find it can be quite sweet. So we're adding 60 grams of, I'm using raw sugar. You could use any sugar that you like. You could use coconut sugar if you prefer. I've got raw sugar on hand, so that's what I'm using. And it's definitely better for you than the white sugar. So we're going to go next. So we're going to pop the lid on, which I've left over at the sink. Give me 2 seconds. Back again. These are the realities of cooking in your own kitchen. You know, don't always have everything right on hand. I'm going to press next. So it's asking me to turn to speed 9. So again, I'm going to pause while I do that. 20 seconds at speed 9. I'll be back in just a 2. Okay, we're back again and ready for the next step. So it's asking to scrape down. Now my Thermomix was a little damp, I'll admit, so it's not looking the way it normally would, but we've just, you know, made icing sugar, which we know is such a big wow for Thermomix customers and consultants alike. So I'm just scraping that down over here. And next up, we're adding our corn flour. So the beauty of this recipe today is it's not only gluten-free, but it's also lactose-free. So we love that with Thermomix recipes, you can tweak it to your liking. Now, just for information's sake as well, I am using the recipe for 2 to 4 people. We are a family of 4, so it's quite enough. So we want 30 grams of corn flour. I'm hoping that's close enough for you guys and you're not getting too much of my back. We want to add 2 eggs. You're going to watch me crack the eggs. That's always good. 1 egg. Let's hope no shell gets in there. I'm sure people are much better at this than me. Yep, there goes the shell. Hello, roll. Got it out. It's all good. Yes, I do have clean hands. It's all good. I'll be infected over here. All right, so 2 eggs. In they go. Next step. All right, so now we're adding in our beautiful almond milk, and this is how it's looking. Isn't it gorgeous? Too bad it's not smell-o-vision. It smells good. Okay, so we want 500 grams, which will probably be all of the milk. Almost. Yep, so like I said, it does make 525 grams. I'm going to drink that when this is done. So we go next, we want to pop that lid on, and then you'll see here that we've got our thicken mode, which, as I was saying before, is one of our new functions for the TM6, and it's very simple. It's going to cook for about 12 minutes at 80 degrees. I just have to turn it, and that is going to do its thing. So I will see you on the other side of 10 minutes when we have our beautiful custard ready. See you in a minute. Okay, now that custard is ready, so we're going to click on next, serve as desired. Now I'm going to show you how that looks. It's looking pretty good from my end. I did drink the rest of that almond milk, and I would say it was just delicious. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So it is more of a runny consistency, and you can thicken it by adding extra corn flour if you preferred. Now, what I didn't tell you is I actually forgot to add the vanilla in before I signed off before. So I just paused it and added in some extra vanilla bean paste, and you can, I don't know if you can see from where you are, But there is little dots of vanilla all through that beautiful custard. Now, if we were having the class in person, we would be serving this lovely custard with the steamed orange puddings, but of course that's not possible at the moment, regrettably, but hopefully one day soon. In the meantime, if you have any questions about the dishes I prepared tonight, I'm sure that Sam and Kate would be happy to take any questions. And enjoy the rest of your class, ladies, and it's been a pleasure. Good night, guys.
How was that? How great is that? So does anyone have any questions about Ange's recipes there? If you do, pop them in the chat and we'll head over to Kate's kitchen.
Sam, do you mind if I quickly show this last little bit of the butter?
Oh, I'd love you to, Jamie. Yes, please.
Sorry, I just thought I'd finish it off.
No, it's hard to see everybody.
So I've squeezed out lots and lots of buttermilk. I've used my spatula to push it through the simmering basket, as you can see, and it's a nice big glob. I do sometimes, just to make sure I get out as much as possible so that I can use it. I also use my hands to squeeze it out as well. And then the thermomix is asking me to put 500 grams of chilled water, which I've done, into the bowl. Add the butter solids, because now we're going to wash the butter, because that's how we make sure we've definitely got out as much as possible. So I've popped that in and I'll click next. Then it wants us to add, put the lid on, which we can do. And going back onto speed 4 for 5 seconds. Okay, we'll click next. So it should have separated everything again, which it has, but you can see there, it almost looks like curd, essentially. It's all in nice little bits. So that's just washed it. You can wash it again, and I often do give it a second wash just to make sure it's nice and clean. If you have a butter mold, you can then put it in a butter mold if you're wanting to. You can also put it in some, once you drain and squeeze out the water, put it onto some cling wrap, roll it into a nice little long cylinder so that you can slice it up to serve. Or I would have added in some herbs, salt, garlic, anything like that. Adding in some lovely fresh herbs and some garlic, and then rolling it in Glad wrap can be a really lovely way, and then freezing it. You can then put it in chicken Kievs as well, which is a really, really yummy one to do. But I think I'll just be using this when I make some bread later today. Now we can say hello to Kate.
Hi everybody. Back again here with the salad. So I have finished steaming the chicken. It's just cooling. I'm not sure if you can see that there on the little tray. And the rice is finished cooking. So I'm just going to lift out the rice using the spatula. And I'm going to just tip that into a bowl to cool. Lucky you guys can't see my floor. And it just says to clean and dry the mixing bowl. I'm just going into my recipe here because I'm going to skip some steps. So I'm going to miss out making the warm mustard dressing and make a caper aioli instead. And then actually I'll come back to this recipe and shred the chicken after I've made the aioli. So I'm just cooling the rice and the chicken in the meantime. I've got tossed together some rocket, some carrot, some little pieces of red capsicum and beautiful radish. Just a lovely crispy combination there. You can obviously mix up the veggies on whatever you like. And you might have seen there that I've used the thermomix peeler from our beautiful kitchen toolkit to very finely put peelings of those veggies in there. But you can just chop the veggies really quickly. So you put chunks of your zucchini and capsicum and carrot and radish in the thermomix and just chop them on speed, say 4.5 for a few seconds. And that's a really quick way to still get in all of that great goodness. Just speed up your salad. All right. So, Sammy, did you want me to make the aioli now?
Yes, Kate, unless you want to flip over to, I think that's a great idea, unless you want to flip over to the others to see what they've created. You happy to do that, Kate?
Yeah, I will.
Mine's still steaming.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just going into the aioli recipe here. So it's a lemon and caper aioli, and I'm going to start cooking. So I'm just popping in a garlic clove. I'll just grab one of those. So 1 garlic clove. Sorry everybody, should have had that ready beforehand. So chuck that in. Yes, you've got to watch out when you're using that Thermomix peeler. I've cut myself when I was preparing that earlier because it's super sharp. Anyway, there's my garlic clove and then 3 pieces of lemon zest. So I just wanted to show you, I'll be more careful this time, of how to do those peelings. So yeah, using my super sharp Thermi peeler, I don't know if you can see, but it's really serrated. So it just brings the zest off really nicely without any of the white pith. So I'll show you that in a second. You can see it just gets you a really fine piece. So popping that in with the garlic. Popping the lid on. And I'm just going to chop that at speed 8, 10 seconds. And then just scraping down the sides. And popping the lid on again. And same again. And now I'm just adding some capers. Just find those in your little, in the like pickled section at your supermarket. So I'm using the little baby ones. And a couple of egg yolks. Has anyone tried making their own mayo in the Thermomix? Type in the chat if you've had a go. It's a great staple that means that you can avoid all those nasties in the commercial mayonnaise. And also, you know, you can make a small batch if you don't use it too much. Gail said it's the best. Gail's a new consultant returning to Thermomix just this month. Gail was a consultant many years ago, and we've got a fantastic program on at the moment to welcome back some ambassadors who might want to have a go at earning their TM6. And that's what Gail's doing. All right, some Dijon. So 2 teaspoons of Dijon. I'll just show you what we've got, how we're going in there. So just got a couple of egg yolks, the chopped up lemon, the capers and garlic. So 2 teaspoons of Dijon. That was probably a bit of a generous teaspoon. And a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. Squeezing that straight in. And then just popping the lid on. Let's just mix in for 30 seconds. All right, that's done. Move those over there. All right, so you can see that's emulsified nicely, and it just needs to scrape the sides down. And pop a jug onto the mixing bowl lid. So you can weigh on when, like if you like we're about to weigh something that we're not popping into the Thermomix just yet. So we're just going to do that now. So I'm using grapeseed oil. That's what the recipe asks for. Just buy it like this at the supermarket. Usually I use rice bran oil. You just need something that's got a really light flavour, so you don't use your extra virgin olive oil unless you're going to use an extra light one. That works the best when you're making a mayonnaise or an aioli like we are. So I'm just going to pour into the little jug, 250 grams. There we go. And just taking the jug off and popping the measuring cup in. Don't know if we've pointed this out today, but the new TM6 measuring cup stays in your lid, so you don't have to take it off separately. That does fit in the TM5 as well, so you can get one of those for your TM5. Love that feature. All right, so I've popped the lid on, and it's set for 2 minutes, and I'm just going to put it on speed 4. And then it says, meanwhile, follow the next step, which is to pour the oil onto the lid, letting it slowly trickle in through underneath the measuring cup into the bowl. So it's just really slowly helping it emulsify. And that just takes a couple of minutes. So I'm just pouring it gradually on the top there. And it's trickling in nicely. Making this delicious dressing for our salad. So just got 1 minute to go. I'm going to do something risky here. I'm going to give you a look. Hopefully it won't splatter all over my computer. Sort of see down in the hole there. I'll show you a better shot when it's finished. But the thermomix is doing all the hard work, making a beautiful, thick, creamy aioli for us with lots of flavour. All right, that's it. Now it just says to add a little pinch of salt. So pop that in. You could obviously use your flavoured salt as well, adding more layers of flavour, and then popping the lid on, and that just stirring that in for a few seconds. All right, and then it says just pop it in a sealable jar or a container and refrigerate until ready to serve. So I thought I would just pop it in one of the mini thermoservers, sort of the little baby ones. And I'm going to use one of the fantastic jam funnel. You can also get this on the mix shop. They're only about $10. Fantastic investment. It's got a really great big size spout at the bottom, so you pour things in and like it's great for if you're making your own spice mixes like a taco seasoning or your garam masala. Just filling up a jar, making it super easy. So I've set the jam funnel on top of my little mini thermoserver and just scraping that in. Oh, it's so thick that it's not even wanting to go through the funnel. All right, there we go. So there we go. I'll give you a look at that. So these are on one of our host reward options this month, the little baby mini thermoserver. So they're just a 500 ml capacity. Has anyone got one of those or like to add the little baby to their family? Get in touch with your consultant and have a cooking experience. You can access them there. So can you see how beautiful and thick that is, that lovely creamy sauce?
We can, Kate. It looks amazing, and I love that it's hands-free. Making aioli or mayo is such an arduous task if you have to whip it by hand.
Yeah, I've never tried it by hand, Zoe, but certainly was wowed when I first tried it, when I first made it with my thermo. The other great thing is here, we're just going to leave the little excess that's in the bowl there in here because we're going to shred the chicken now. So I'm going to go back into my recently cooked recipes and find my rice salad recipe. And it's asking me if I'd like to resume. I'm just going to say yes, resume. And just skipping past the other dressing instructions, and it's telling me to place the cooled chicken. So I'm going to just tip that in. My beautiful chicken tenderloins. And pop the lid on, and we're going to shred that chicken. Who has tried this? Because this has been a game changer for me in terms of meal prepping. Having this just accessible in my fridge for to make a quick salad or a quick roll. All right, so just 3 seconds on reverse on speed 4. Beautiful. So as I mentioned earlier, I did like twice as much. So I'm just going to put it on for a little bit longer because some of the chicken hasn't been shredded there. So I'm just going to go back 1 step for another 3 seconds. And I'll show you that. There you have it, your beautiful shredded chicken. Super, super easy. So then it just tells me to toss together the veggies, which I showed you before. And the chicken with the cooled rice as well. So I'll just pop the chicken on here. Some of the chicken, and I'm going to keep the rest of it. And I'll just pop some rice in as well. This actually makes quite a lot. So it is a lovely dish to take to a party or take to someone's house if you go over there for dinner, for a barbie. And I'll just dollop some of the delicious aioli on there. And I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing there. No, you can't. There we go. Yeah, and then just give it a little toss. And yeah.
You might take a photo for us, Kate, and all the ladies today who have presented, take a photo and we can all share them with each other and pop them on each of our pages.
They're beautiful. Sammy.
What's that?
They're beautiful. Thanks, Sammy.
And if we go over to everyone's homes to see how their food has turned out, and then I'll finish up and show you how to plate up this dessert. So, Susie, you've been waiting patiently for so long. Have you got a finished product in your house?
I do. I just whipped out to the freezer to grab some of my fruity dream, which I made last night for the kids. So that was just a mango and banana fruity dream. They wanted some ice cream. Now all I had to do to finish that step was add some strawberries and let that cook for 2 minutes and then blitz it, and then I put it in the fridge to let cool down for a little while. So now I don't want to tip it out, so I'll just tilt my camera so you can see that beautiful compote. And here we have my pre-prepared pancakes. That's a breakfast bowl here with some homemade vanilla, or what's it called? I always get it wrong. Granola. And that's another lemon slice. That's a really easy one with the homemade condensed milk. Really quick and easy lemon slice. I've got that on the recipe community. And the fruity dream, and I'll just pop some of the raspberry sauce or strawberry sauce on top of that. So like you could swirl that through your ice cream if you liked as well. So yeah, there's some beautiful little things. And also while I was watching, that was really fantastic. Thanks, ladies. I really enjoyed that, and I got some really good tips off there. I've patiently been waiting, but I've been baking as well. So I've made the bread. I'm going to make that salmon spinach roll loaf that you made before. So thank you for that. That inspired me to get cooking while I was waiting. And I also just quickly did up a nice garlic and chive cream cheese, which I'll put in that roll as well. So I can't wait to have that. I'm going to take that round to my mum's for lunch. So
You have been so busy in your kitchen. That's amazing. And thanks for sharing all those extra tips on how to serve the compote with in different ways. Just lovely. Thanks so much, Susie.
thanks for watching, everyone, and tune in to my page if you want to have some more information. I love to have more people sharing the love of Thermomix. That Susie is your Thermomix consultant. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thanks, Suze. Okay, Jamie, Jamie, have we seen your final product, Jamie?
I can show you my butter, which I've shaped into a little square. It's not perfect, but it's homemade, so I'm fairly happy with it. I washed my butter twice, and then I've squeezed it out myself and shaped it by hand. My hand's now all lovely and soft, thanks to moisturising with a little bit of butter. I've got my buttermilk here, which I'm going to use later this afternoon to make some baked pumpkin donuts for lunch boxes, which I'm really excited about, or maybe afternoon tea. And I've got my citrus salt, which I'm actually thinking of mixing a little bit of this with my butter just to have a little bit of a zesty flavour, because I think that'll be really nice when using the butter. And I'm Jamie from Thermo Living Bendigo with Jamie, so feel free to follow along. I'm planning on doing a couple of different cook-ups over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Jamie, that's awesome. I love the idea about your flavoured salted butter. Beautiful tip. Roll it into a log roll, pop it in the freezer, cut it off for a nice piece of steak.
Yeah,
Marianne, you are ready with your ricotta, baked ricotta, and those beautiful crackers. Over to you.
So the recipe was called Davey Herb Baked Ricotta. I took the bread out ages ago, and if you can see, I've just cut that into little triangles. So it's all made with almonds and seeds, and the ingredient that held it all together was black chia that he soaked an hour, 20 minutes, and then popped that in. And one tip is, once you've added the black chia to your mix, it's a really good idea to actually roll it out quickly, because if you leave it sitting, it kind of sets. So that's a little bit hard to roll. And then the ricotta I overcooked. I was trying to keep it hot so you can have a look at it, and then I could eat it hot. But it looks really good. So I'll just cut a little bit of that out. That's how it looks.
Marianne,
Smells lovely.
it does. I bet it does, but I'm not sure about other people, but I've got a black screen. I can't see you. Is that just me, or is that...
Oh,
I think we're having a few internet issues in our... Oh, there we are. There you are. Woohoo!
Hello. So, well, that's the other thing, is working technology. So the seeded bread and the herb ricotta, and I'm looking forward to eating it. And, I've got to say, listening to you all, it's amazing how many times as a consultant we say excited. And I was picked up by my daughter after 4 years of having a Thermomix and being a consultant, and I chopped some onions and I showed her the jug and I said, look at that, 3 seconds. And she said, I can't believe you're still excited. But I am. Love it.
That's awesome to hear, and yep, it just keeps going, doesn't it? We never get sick of our Thermomix. We love it.
Oh, you can't see my final product. Sorry.
We'd love to take. Oh yeah, that looks fantastic.
Crackers. Trying to get a bit hot. I can show you. And that's the ricotta. I just cut a little piece out so you can see what it looks like, the texture. It's hot. It smells really, really lovely. And I'm here with all my mates. So, pardon?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying it was so yummy, Marianne. Thanks for showing
us. It's right under my nose. It smells really good, and there's only me here to eat it.
And where can we find you for more thermomixing, Marianne? What's your Facebook page called?
Don't fake it, thermo make it.
What a fantastic name. Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you for all my wonderful people who came on to support me today too. Thanks.
This is Marianne's first cooking class online with us, and you've done an absolute ripper job. Thanks so much, Marianne. I'm going to come over to my house now and show you the final orange puddings. Before I do that, I'm just going to spotlight myself, and I'm going to pop on the chat group the link to the survey. It would have come in your email as well, and I will send it out afterwards. So you've been so wonderful today. I'm just going to pop that in there. If you could take 3 minutes to give us a bit of feedback, that'd be fantastic. And I'm just going to tilt myself down and plate up these orange puddings. So I've left them in the aroma for you. So they finished steaming. Now, if they're not cooked to your liking, you want to just check, you want to add a bit more steam time, do that. It had 800 grams of water in it, so it was actually quite a long steaming time for that. Rule of thumb when you're steaming anything, 500 grams or 250 grams of water will give you 20 minutes of steaming. If you need more steam created, if you've got a bigger dish that's going on in the top, give it 500 grams of water, and that'll give you 20 minutes of steam as well. Check your water level after you're steaming for that time to see if it needs topping up. And the finished product. So we've got our little puddings in there, little babies. Now they have reduced a little bit while they've been waiting. And what I'm going to do is plate it up. So I've got made an orange and Cointreau sauce using marmalade. Now, my brother's a chef, so he's really good at this. And I'm going to have a crack. That's what it's about, isn't it? Having a crack. So I'm just going to put some sauce on the plate. Put my pudding on. Look how easy that comes out. Might put a bit more sauce on. And in here I've made some almond milk ice cream. So Angie showed you how to do the custard, and this is the ice cream, and then our Tavolo ice cream tubs are amazing. Tell you a funny story. I made ice cream once, and a bit of a recycler, and I put it in the home brand ice cream tub. Everyone loved it so much, had the in-laws here, and so they decided that they would buy me another set, and they bought me the home brand ice cream, which is not very, it's not the same. So amazing ice cream, which I just finished making this morning, and that's why it's a little bit soft. So I probably shape that a little bit different. It's a bit soft there, and it's been sitting out on my bench too. So stop that there, and later a little bit more of orange segments as well, and a little bit more drizzle over there. And one more thing. Bit of a dusting. And you have your winner dessert. How beautiful does that look? So we've really enjoyed coming to you and showing you some really wonderful basics. And if you've liked today, please let us know. If there's something else that you'd like to see, please let us know that as well. The girls, I really appreciate all of the girls getting together and giving up their time. We do this for free, and we're very, very grateful for you joining us today. So,
can I just have a quick chat? I forgot to mention that at the moment in the mix shop, you can go and win a $100 voucher. So if anybody who, like me, has been inspired by these beautiful ladies today and wants to go to the mix shop, which I'm going to this afternoon because I want a nut milk bag, and I also want one of those rolling pins because my rolling pin's not very good. So when you do go to the mix shop, please make sure you put in your beautiful consultant that you're part of her team. So that just gives us that little bit of a little bit of money. It's not much, but it is something, and we really do appreciate it. So just remember to pop in your consultant, and you can win a $100 voucher. Good luck. Happy shopping.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks for remembering that. And I'm just going to share my screen to show you all the dishes that we've made today, just in case you want to take a screenshot and load that onto your cookadoo. If you'd like to see more about cookadoo and what you can do, shout out to your consultant and they will help you. So here we go. I put them in my cook today. We've made the steamed orange puddings with ice cream, brunch bread, butter. I've put the non-stick paste in there because I wanted to share that with you about greasing any of your siliconeware. Homemade ricotta, citrus salt, rice salad with the lemon and caper aioli, the savoury herb baked ricotta, almond milk and custard for both of you. Wonderful, wonderful recipes. It's another quick tip for you as well. When you are exploring in your cookadoo and you don't find the recipe you're after, remember to unlock your, so let's just say we want chicken, unlock your filter. So when you do that, you're in Australian filter. If you click on your filters, scroll down, click on English, take away Australia. If you want to filter your machines, if you want to filter your categories, you can do that and then click show. So then you get a lot more searches. Some wonderful, wonderful things in here. That weekly planner I was showing you, those are the two symbols I was talking about on your machine. You can see on the thermomix as well as in the cookadoo. So you can have a look at the other options. You can see at a glance what you've made in the past, and you can go back as far as you like, as far as you've programmed your recipes. The other wonderful thing about our cookadoo at the moment, I don't know if you should all know, but if you don't, let me share with you that. So we just open my shopping list. And taking a little bit of time, you can have your shopping list done by category or recipe. When you do it by category, did you know it adds up all of your ingredients? It gives you a total. So I'm looking at an English recipe here, that's why it's in ounces, and your thermomix automatically changes that to suit your settings. If you've got those ingredients there, so after today, if we've inspired you to make anything, you could simply go onto those recipes in your weekly planner and pop them, the drop-down menu, pop them in your shopping list. And then you go into your category, take away what you don't need. For instance, leave what you do, add anything else. So you might want to add some, I don't know, some toilet paper. Just comes to mind. Add wine, whatever else you want to add in there, and then you can click order ingredients. And what that does is it takes you to your store, your Woolworths store. So you do need a Woolworths account. Once you're in that store, then you can swap those brands out. So if you use a different brand, you can just click on swap and it'll give you all your other choices to choose from. It's a wonderful, wonderful way of ordering. Like Jamie said, she's been doing this online. And you might feel, like you say, you're probably going to save a lot more money. Once you're happy with your cart, you just click add it to your Woolworths cart. It takes you to your Woolworths shopping and then you can arrange your pickup. How awesome is that? So Cookadoo not only has global recipe library for you, all of those recipes, you can then add it to your shopping list and have someone pack it for you. Swing into the grocery store and pick it up. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks again for joining us. Does any one of the other ladies want to share anything? I know that Lisa and Emily shared their bread before, but is there anything they want to add to before we go?
No, I just love to say thank you. Thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you, Sam, for presenting, and your beautiful team with together with our Bellarine team. And I hope everyone's picked up some good tips. I just wanted to reply to Trish. She said, wish it could be done through Coles. This is brand new, the order ingredients that you can do online, and it's still in the testing phases, but they did say that there could be potential for other retailers to be involved down the track. So keep an eye out for that.
Thanks, Kate. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
No problem. Oh, hang on. Remember, check on your consultants page because we've got another cooking class coming up with all the team leaders, and it's the Indian spice journey. So you might want to come along to that. It's a great season to be eating lots of curries and tips like that. So we'll see you next time.
And that's on the 15th of August, Saturday afternoon, that one. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks, Kate. And I'm going to disconnect. If any of my team or Kate's team want to jump back on to say anything, well, I'll be on Zoom in a minute, but I'll close off Zoom now, unless there's no, still people are leaving. So I'll close off Zoom and then we'll jump back on if you want to. Otherwise, let's have a great weekend, everybody.
See you.